Okay. Good morning, guys. Friday, 8 a.m. I think this is our first time on a Friday. Okay, we're normally on Saturday at 10 a.m. and we're going to try to expand a little bit. So now you can count on us on Fridays at 8 a.m., Saturdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube, and then you know our TikTok hours. All right, why we want to get some more live time under our belt because the markets keep moving and they're showing direction. In my opinion, they're showing no direction. But everybody still thinks this bandwagon is just going up, up, up. You know, the 7, 8, 9, 10 stocks keep going up, 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 and that's what everybody's on that train. But if they turn, the market can turn. And now I've been saying this since the middle of August. I think the market's getting ready to breathe, and obviously the market just breathes a little and goes higher, making an all-time high. So I haven't been right, but we've been navigating, trying to put on some shorts, liquidating some longs, trading things that we think are in ranges, and also holding on to things that we think can go. Now, if you've been following us, you know our opinion. We think oil is in a range, and we think metal is just going to keep going. So let's go to those first, and then we'll go to some questions. Oil. We think oil is in a range. Talking about this for a while. We've been trading it that way. This is crude oil. Okay, guys, you tell me. Where is oil? Stays, it doesn't go anywhere. You get the extensions higher. What do? You get people caught, get excited, goes nowhere. Then it goes down in this area. People say, I'm wrong, or I want to get short, goes down around here, holds again. So what did I do the last 2 days? I've been buying oil. And now, the little bit of experience I got at this time of the year, knowing how to read a calendar, you don't just say, I want to buy oil. You say, well, what do you want to buy? Do you want to buy gasoline? You want to buy heating oil? You want to buy crude oil? And then the way I read some of the spreads that I was taught by the best teachers on this planet over my career, we decided we're looking at different products. So what did we do the last day or two? We bought gasoline. Watch gasoline pop up on the upside and then pull back. And you say to yourself, you know, we're getting out of gasoline season. We're getting into heating oil season, right? As the weather's turning. Okay, if you understand the calendar, there's some intricate points you got to read because they get out of value. Gasoline got out of value. So you look at the absolute price, you look at the absolute spreads, and that tells you if the time is right. So we bought gasoline. So let's go to gasoline since we're talking about it. So we bought gasoline, and now it's at an area. The spreads are telling me the oil sector is at the bottom end of the range. So rather than buy oil or heating oil, we bought gasoline. Now let's see if we bounce today. We got that in there. So we looked at some oil equities, which we have been trading all year. Okay, and if you're following us, you know we traded ExxonMobil, Valero, ConocoPhillips, DVN. Well, we traded ConocoPhillips over the last week, week and a half. We put out a bunch of clips to explain what we've been doing, and we did it again. ConocoPhillips. Let me hear it. See, okay. Okay, so if you remember, we bought some ConocoPhillips. The clip was out right around here. Perfect spot. We bought it a couple of times. Went right to our area, our target area. We sold it out. What's wrong with a trade like that? What are we doing now? Putting it right back on. What are we looking at now also? ExxonMobil. Because now ExxonMobil is near our spot. This has been a cash cow all year because we're just trading the ranges. Traded out of our ExxonMobil. Now what are we doing? We're looking to put it right back on. So if you belong to the group, you're going to know the exact spots we were looking to put on some ExxonMobil on a pullback. We want to trade the same way. Why? Because look where ExxonMobil is. Beginning of the year, 111. Where is it now? 111. So if you're beginning of the year, you say, I want to buy an oil stock. I want to buy ExxonMobil. Okay, you went for the whole year. You know what you got? You know what they call it in Italian? Ungazzi. You got nothing. Okay, but if you take advantage of these markets and you believe in the ranges, you can take money. We've traded this half a dozen times this year. Okay, why? We look for the extremes and we buy it. We look for the extremes, we get short. We've probably taken, sometimes we've taken money out of this market. Okay, so think about it. A market that hasn't moved, we've probably taken 40 points out of it. That because we believe it's in a range. Okay, so you understand the way we're thinking about oil. Now I'm going to go to something else. Metals market. Now, if you've been following us, you know we don't think there's a range. We think the range is higher, higher, higher. We are so bullish. We've been bullish metals for 2 years now. We've been on this bandwagon, and there's no reason to get off. But now things are turning. Okay, turning the fundamental side. Now, this is what we explained to the group. I've been in the metals business 4 decades. Silver I've been trading since mid-'80s. So let me tell you something. Every move I've seen in the last 40 years, I've made money and lost money. There's very few people on this planet who have lost the money I've lost in silver, and also who have maybe made it, okay? Because I've seen all these scenarios. And what do I recognize now? Are traps. What I also recognize is below the radar symptoms. And now we're getting them in silver. Okay, so if you remember our video, came out in June, Being in June, we said the sleeper of the summer is going to be silver. Early June. So let's go to early June. It was right here. We made a big video. Usually we make a 30, 60-second video. We made a video for about a few minutes. So that's a lot for me. Said this is the sleeper of the summer, but it's going to get hard to trade. Is this the sleeper of the summer? No, it's the sleeper past the summer. Now it's going to be, we're in October, the sleeper of the fall. And another thing we pointed out, when silver got above $40, you have to make adjustments. You can't trade silver this way, your style. You can't trade above $40 with the same style. You're going to get carried out. Okay? I've seen it. I've done it. I've been caught in it. So you have to make adjustments. That's the hard part of when you trade commodities, and the hard part of when you trade commodities like silver. Silver is its own beast. Okay? Like I said, I've seen everything over since the mid-'80s. When silver is in play, there is nothing that influences silver. It's on its own. Gold could drop, silver could, platinum can move, the dollar can move, the economy can fall apart. Silver's by itself. Okay, and that's what it is right now. So the thing is, it's going to be so hard to navigate. You know what we call silver, what I call it Space Mountain. And in Disney World, you get in that, whatever that is, that ride, and you don't know where you're going, you're just going up and down. That's what trading silver is. It's going to make no sense. It's going to be too hard to make money. So you got to have conviction, and you got to recognize symptoms that I'm starting to recognize. And they're starting in the last 48 hours in silver. Now look at this move in silver. This is no joke, guys. Look at it. The last time, silver hasn't been up to its all-time highs yet. It was $50 back in 2010, 2011. Gold just keeps making new all-time highs. But look how fast silver catches up. The thing is now in silver, when it's above 40 bucks, you know, a dollar move for 6 months was big for silver. Now you get a dollar move in an hour and a half. Okay? So you got these dollar moves, $2 moves. You're going to get to an area which I think silver's going to have $2, $3 moves per day, per session. $4, $5 moves over 48 hours. And how do you make adjustments? That's the point. You have to adjust. Okay? You have to understand the size. You got to trim your size, understand your exposure. It's a very levered commodity. It's probably one of the most high marginable commodities that you got to put up margin. Why? Because that's how much leverage there is. The contract is too big. You have 5,000 ounces of silver for one contract. Do the math on it. You're putting up a $250, $250,000 to trade silver. Got to strap in. Okay, that's for one contract. So that's what you got to do in silver. What's the one that we've been looking at that we also have a passion on? It's been platinum and palladium. And we actually think they're on a plan and they're going to be on a mission. So we've been on platinum for a while. We have some platinum equities, which are hard to find. And now it's starting to kick. This is platinum. Tell me, is it starting to catch up or what? Did nothing. This is April. What was platinum? It didn't even have a pulse. Okay? Didn't even move. Caught a nerve. Got everybody excited. Pulled back. Okay? And blew some people out. And now it's on a mission again. And I actually think this is going to be on a mission for a while. So what do? We have platinum on. We got palladium on. And we have equities. Okay? If you've been following us, I know you're following us here for a few months. But we're on TikTok also. And anyone who's been following us for the last year and a half know what our favorite equity is for platinum palladium, SBSW. It was a home run trade already this year. And in my opinion, if we hit a second home run, it's going to be the same exact stock. And we think it's getting ready to go again. SBSW. So let me find it. There we go. Okay. This is SBSW. We were all in down here. And the trade on this one was not to let it go. We had that much passion in platinum. So when platinum goes up to here, you say, beautiful, let me start cashing in. You know what a harder trade or the hardest discipline about a trade is when not to give it away. So we held on to the entire thing, sold it all out here. We got to one of our targets, our long-term targets. Then we got out, and then we put it all back on, scaled down. So we have the same position on, but now it's a different scenario. So you have it grinds higher, you got to make adjustments. Why? Because now you got gaps, just gapping up. So this can have a serious move on the upside, and now look at it, it's starting to really go. So we're back in here, and it could be, if it keeps going the way I think it is, it's going to be our second home run trade of the year, and it's going to be the same name. So you see the difference the way we look at trade oil equities, and look at the way we trade metals very differently, and we don't think that's going to change. Okay, we got those two under our belt. Now, what are we talking about as far as commodities? We think commodities are very underpriced, and they're all going to get repriced. And what's doing that? The last 6, 7 months, the dollar's come off, what, 10%? The fastest the dollar has come down in a 6-month span in 50 years. Last time dollar corrected itself like this was in the early 70s. Coincidentally, it's also when we went off the gold standard. So now, everything on the planet, which is priced in dollars, the dollar's becoming a little bit of monopoly money when you see them going away. So people still got to consume. I don't care if you buy a bushel of corn with $1, if you buy it with a ruble, you buy it with a euro. Okay, the population can go away. Okay, and something like the corn or the grain market is what we're talking about. Corn. Okay, we say fine. I want to buy some corn, so we're all going to eat corn. Corn's going to go higher. We don't eat corn. You know who eats corn? Animals. 90% of the corn made on this planet goes to feed animals. Okay, so the animals we need on this planet, we got to feed them. Okay, the world has to feed the animals. Half of them are my friends. I got a lot of animals for friends too. Look at the corn market. What we explained is the corn market or the grain markets where the market has a skew in it, there's two waves. We've seen the first wave. The market got itself extremely short down here. Okay, that was the wave to catch everybody, get a little exposure. What happened? Beautiful bounce. Now it goes down and people say, okay, the market is balanced again. There's no movement. Now, my opinion is it's a giant boat that had a turn, and you can't turn it in once. So you pull back, and everybody says they're putting people asleep. Now I think the next move in corn can really go. And I also think it can happen in soybeans, and I think it's going to happen in the wheat market. Look at soybeans. Soybeans pulled back again to a good value area, $10. We traded this, and then we sold a lot of it up here, and now we didn't put it back on, but we are. Why? Because the president made an announcement. It's not even an announcement, it's just a murmur that they're going to try to strike a deal with China. So if you strike a deal with China as far as trading, who's our biggest customer? What are they buying? They're buying soy. So if you got something at value, see how sensitive, how it snaps up? This is not even on a deal, this is just on the news. That's what I want to see. What does that do? It exposes the market. So we like the grain markets right now. We like soybeans, we like corn, we like wheat, we like discounted wheat that's better quality, which is called Kansas City wheat. Some wheat you make bread with, some wheat you make cake with, some wheat you make macaroni with. Okay, they're all different kinds of grades. Okay, that's something I should know because I've been doing it for 4 decades. And you bring it here, and you look for value. So we think the grain markets are ready to go. So that's our opinion on commodities. Let's get a couple of quick questions, and then I'll go to some of the equities.
So just a little house cleaning, Joe.
Yeah.
To everybody in the chat room, thank you for paying attention. Apparently, our Zoom settings are a little messed up. I'm getting a little too close to your face, so that's some.
You're not the first person to say that.
I got to work on that. My apologies to everyone in the
I
chat.
want to get it set up because when they put my picture on in the post office, I want to make sure I get a good side. My good side.
That's correct.
My good side is when I turn around.
Joe, Danielle has a pretty detailed question here. Could the fire at the Chevron refinery in El Segundo push up the prices of gasoline competitors, such as MPC, on the West Coast?
Okay, it'll push up the futures, which it has done tonight. Okay, as far as going over to the equities, they got to know a duration, how long it's going to be down. So for some reason, if they say they can't fix it, we're going to be shut down for a week, somewhere in that 5, 6, 7, 8 days. Then it'll roll into equities. It's not going to roll into equities right now. It's going to roll right into futures, and it's going to roll into the what they call prompt or the front month future. Just as an example, okay, you see the market over here. You see oil's not doing much. Okay, seeing heating oil, which is actually getting to our big value area, not doing much. You just talked about the news. Look at gasoline. That moved. How come that one's green, the other ones aren't? That's exactly it. But the futures will be affected by it immediately. Okay, and then if you have a duration, 5, 6, 7 days where it's down, then this is going to work its way higher. But I wouldn't think equity, I wouldn't be buying equities because there's a small shutdown which can be fixed.
Joe, can you just talk a little bit about gold?
Gold. You tell me what you want to know. The thing in gold now, okay, quietly gold sat here for months. And the market, I have a lot of friends throughout this planet, and we've been in the metals business, like I said, for decades. So gold is quiet here at 3,400. And I talked to them on the phone and says, guys, seriously, what are you talking from the pub? $3,400 gold is quiet, it's impossible. So they thought there was no pulse. I said, okay, whenever the next move is, which I still think is going to be higher, it's going to move pretty quick. It went from 34 to 3,800 very quick. And that's quiet now because it's gone up like this. A $100 move used to be epic over a 6 month or over a year. $100 move now in gold. It's like, geez, I remember on Friday, I watched NFL football over the weekend. I came back Tuesday, gold's moving $100. You get any kind of news come out, gold will move $100. Okay, it's a different market. I think gold, you have to watch yourself because something, whether it's gold, silver, or platinum, is set up to go parabolic. When I say parabolic, I mean let me see if I can do it here, give you an example. If you don't understand what the word parabolic means, well, neither do I, but it moves like this, then it does this. Now, one of these metals are going to do it, and it's not going to be because we're buying gold and Costco, or the retail people buying GLD. It's going to be the fundamental side. There's ways to read the markets. Most people read charts. Most people read follow fundamentals, and that's how they trade. In my opinion, it's a third factor also. But the thing is, I think people doing it wrong. When the market is warming up, people read charts. Okay, they're going to read the fundamentals. When it gets to these areas, then people read charts. So then, as the fundamental kicks in, they say, "Oh, the chart says we're breaking out." Well, you got to look at the fundamental. So I think people do it backwards. They look at fundamentals when they should be looking at charts, and they look at charts when they should be looking at fundamentals. And the metals are setting up now in the fundamentals, not the charts.
Joe, Dan wants to know if you do you do TRPD?
I don't even know what that means. No, I don't.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Someone must be making fun of us.
no, not making fun. It just made my day, and it's going to make your day. I was so close with the Zoom that Alvis says we can now confirm that Joe's hairline is natural, no plugs.
Plugs.
I must have had the Zoom in on really bad. I'm
Plugs.
sorry. My apologies.
Another year from now, yeah, I'll be wearing a hat. It's starting to go fast.
Joe, you keep talking about your group. Yeah, can you tell me what that means? Give our viewers an idea of what you're talking about.
We don't fool around here, guys. This is okay. Most of your life, you've probably been in an investor group or an investor. This is a trading group. Okay. Oh, that's a good sound. Okay. RNTR. Okay, let's go here. This is us. RNTR Trading. Now you know what's going on lately. I guess people are getting banged up a little bit. We got a lot of copycats. If you want to join, this is it. RNTR Trading. No 2 G's, no extra R. There's a lot of clowns that are trying to imitate us. We never ask you for money. We're finding out these people saying, "Send us money." We never ask you for money. We don't trade crypto. People saying we trade crypto. We don't. We look at crypto. Okay, we do this properly. You contact us. We get back to you if you want to join. Okay, we send you the link. We send you the mail. We set you up. We invite you in to the chat. And what do you get with it? What do you get when you join? You get all this plan. You get live webinars with Guy Adami from CNBC every Thursday. Q&A. We're probably one of the best macro idea and traders. Most people are economists. They have ideas. They have no idea how to trade. Most people are traders. Have no idea what the economy is. Don't know if it's a -2 or a +2. Guy has both. He's got an economist kind of mind, and he's been a trader his life. I sat next to him for how many years? Decades. So I know he can trade. So he understands both. So he gives us edges. And it's up to me to find the strategies. You get it. Trade alert, accessibility. You get on our chat, which I gotta go find. What are we doing here? You see it? What are I doing? All right. Well, we're going to have to go back on that one because obviously I screwed up somewhere. That's why you can't let me touch these things. Okay, we have a chat. I'm on all day. Tell you my opinions. There's a question and answer chat with the group that go back and forth. Mostly people just want to know what I'm doing. I don't recommend anything. If you're looking over my shoulder, I tell you every time I trade. If you want to just not listen to me, not look at me, and just wait for the trade alerts, you'll get an alert on your phone the same way you're looking now. You'll get a text. I'll say to myself, "Listen, guys, I'm looking at Freeport Macmoran, a copper stock." And I'll tell you what I'm looking to do. And then over the next minute or two, I'll say, "Okay, guys, I'm buying it here, where the price is, what percentage I'm getting in." And we accumulate trades. I trade very different than others. I read charts very different than others. I'm looking over right now. We've probably got about 20 positions on. We're anywhere from 15 to 30, 35 positions on. We stay balanced. Why? Because we have positions that don't work. Everybody does. Anybody sits there and says, "I'm making money doing everything I do," I tell you, they're full of crap. Okay? We have winners and losers. But if we stay balanced, the losers will not move the needle on us. Okay? And you know what it's done for us for the year? It's put us up. Can you believe it's not up here?
It's okay.
Okay.
So, Joe,
guys, we're up over 200% this year. 220 to be exact, almost 230. 230% for the year. Last year, we're up over 100%. This is trading. This is not investing. You got a little bit of dedication, but it works. You can make what you want to make in 10 years. We've had people. We've been on market. We're just on MarketWatch.com. If you want to go look back, the last couple of weeks is an article about us. Okay, so they do all the fact checking. We have people who, an electrician who retired and wanted to save up and get his, a summer house in Florida, or an extra home. He says, you just sped up my plan 10 years. He just mimicked everything I was doing over my shoulder, made enough money to do that. You want to know something? That made my day, and I know it made the group's day.
So Joe, I just want to make sure I got this straight.
Okay?
I go to the website, which is RNTR.trading,
Yeah.
and I sign up for a membership. It looks like $78
$78
for a month.
Yeah.
And I sign up for a membership, and then that gets me invited into your chat room where you're sort of going back and forth with all of your
Yes.
paying subscribers, your members,
Yeah.
and saying, "Hey, we're buying XYZ today. We're doing this. We're selling
Back
that."
and forth, yes.
Okay, and then so
If you
I
don't
don't.
like it, you can quit.
Okay, and what if I don't? What if I see you doing a trade and I don't really agree with it? Do I have to do it or?
No, you don't have to. This is all you're doing the trading. A lot of people say thank you for the trade, and you know what I answer? I say I didn't do the trade. You did. You hit the button. You may not agree with it. You may not want to get involved. It may be too risky. We explain all the risks as we approach them. So, okay, this is risky. We're going to adjust our amounts. So I give you a little bit of a preface before what I'm looking to do.
Okay, so I've got to have my own trading account with
Yes.
like a Charles Schwab or something like that.
You have to have a commodity account if you want to trade commodity futures, or an equity account if you like to trade Charles Schwab and you trade one of those. Yes.
Okay, excellent. And then, so basically, I'm just looking over your shoulder. Suppose I'm on the beach drinking margaritas.
Good for you. I don't know what that means, but okay. Yes, that's exactly right. Your phone will go off with a trade alert. It'll say, alert, I'm looking at this. If you agree with it, say, okay, I'm going to put it up on my screen. I'm going to put it up on my Schwab. I'm going to put it up on my RJ O'Brien futures account. And then I'm going to say, guys, okay, you know what? I'm going to buy it here, or I'm going to sell it here. I tell you where the price is. Okay, I tell you ahead of time so you can get ready. I'm watching a lot of these sites. They're a bunch of clowns. The person who runs it says, oh, I bought Apple here. And then he tells everybody else. Well, how about telling everybody why you're doing it? Okay, be a little bit of a teammate. These miserables.
Fair enough. By the way, Tony P must be a member because he called you the goat and said, "Good bang for your buck."
A goat, yeah, believe me. I've been called jackass more than goat, but okay.
Joe, we're running out of time. We got to get over to TikTok.
Yes.
I just want to ask you real quick.
Yes.
Ronnie wants to know about cocoa. Can you give us a quick look?
Cocoa, we got to watch ourselves. Okay, we got into cocoa a couple days ago, broke a big line. What I think it's doing is extending. I know why it's extending because I'm in a little bit of a network. So the hedgers are speeding it up. So they want to get their hedges in because cocoa has been one of the wildest commodity moves in the last 3-4 decades. So I think it's got a chance to be a little buoyant, but you still got to trade with discipline. That's why we put positions on. We don't put large positions, so you can give yourself flexibility. That's our plan in cocoa.
Excellent.
Okay.
So, Joe, for people who watch you both on YouTube and on TikTok,
Yeah.
when are you going to be back on YouTube?
YouTube tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. And then we're going to be back next Friday at 8 a.m. This is the first time we're going during the week on two. Today's the first time. So if you're on, thank you for being on.
As you can see by the cameraman's Zoom skills, this was our first time.
Okay. Any skills that someone has is better than mine.
All right, Joe. So then we'll see you tomorrow morning on
10
YouTube
a.m.
at 10 a.m. Eastern.
Yes. Okay, have your questions ready. We'll go over what happened today because I actually think today's a little important. Okay? See you tomorrow.
Thanks, Joe.